Alright guys, impromptu video here on this weekend. Hope to be another one tomorrow as well with the fallout from the CM Punk Mike Jackson UFC fight that takes place tonight. I hope to have a little video tomorrow going over that fight, and I use that term very loosely because CM Punk is no fighter. I make no bones about that. I don't hold back when it comes to CM Punk. You guys know that. He once again called WWE, this time he said that fake world when referencing WWE to Ariel Helwani in his last interview. And we've heard CM Punk call WWE multiple times that phony world, that phony place. It's the bitterness that I cannot stand in these WWE superstars. Bret Hart shows an undying passion to be bitter against everything WWE. Vince Russo, one of the most bitter people, former employees of WWE. Ryback continues. Vince Russo goes on and say, if you're too passionate about pro wrestling, then there's something wrong with you. Ryback says, if you're too passionate about pro wrestling, there's something not right in your life and something missing in your life. These motherfuckers, if they were still with WWE and things were going good for them, this would be the last things they would be saying. They would be talking about how this is the fucking place to be. And I'm at the top of my game. And I'm helping make this place the place it's supposed to be and is. But because Vince McMahon said, get the fuck out of here, all of a sudden, that's the fake world. And that's the fucking, if you take it too seriously, then you have something wrong or missing in your life. Yet these motherfuckers, guess how they're making a living, guys? Podcasting. Ryback, Vince Russo, they podcast. Appearances here and there, you'll see Ryback wrestle here and there. Maybe Vince Russo makes an appearance. I don't know what the fuck Vince Russo would make an appearance. A former fucking writer and fucking bullshit WCW champion because he wrote himself into that position. Get the fuck out of here. But once in a while they make appearances, but they're trying to make their names relevant by podcasting. Podcasting is the same as what I'm fucking doing right here. Making a fucking YouTube, creating this YouTube channel, making these YouTube videos, same as fucking podcasting. So they're upset that we now live in a fucking world where people like the Amplified Man can actually go ahead, not only make money the same way they're doing it, but be even more entertaining than they are. Be better than they are. Because that's what's happening. Ryback's pissed the fuck off that his little podcast isn't growing any bigger or getting any better. Because there's the little people like me out there in the world, the little fucking dogs in the YouTube and podcasting game that didn't have name recognition before, and we're taking chunks out of their audience. Vince Russo can't even get a fucking audience, so we'll put him on the fucking side. But that's what they're fucking bitter about, right? Their time is over. Their name has become insignificant. And they're pushed over into obscurity. They don't like it. So what's the only thing you do when you don't like something? You're going to lash out. You're going to call it names. You're going to call the people that watch it names. You take it too seriously, they say, but then they have podcasts and or YouTube channels that talk pro wrestling. So your entire career is still based on pro wrestling. So which is it? If you don't take it so seriously, and if you do take it so seriously, then you have something wrong with you or something's missing in your life, then why are they still fucking talking about it 24/7 and still trying to make a career out of it? Go to something else if you weren't happy with it. They're bullshitters. All of these bitter motherfuckers are contradicting bullshitters. Straight up from Vince Russo to Ryback to Bret the Hitman Hart to CM fucking Punk. Now it's the phony world. His latest comments to Ariel Helwani, that fake world is what he said. Over in that fake world, trying to make himself sound like a badass. Like I'm a UFC fighter now. I'm a real fighter. But when I was in that fake world, X, Y, and Z didn't apply. Motherfucker, the only thing fake is you, CM Punk, as a fighter. You are a fake fighter because you can't fight. The truth, CM Punk, is you suck at fighting. You're either a natural-born fighter or you're not. And especially we as men, we know from the beginning, from a young age, we know if we are fighters or not, right? For instance, I grew up in fucking projects. I made stupid decisions growing up. I went to prison. From projects to prison and growing up into adulthood, I knew from a young age if I could fight or not. Luckily, thankfully, gracefully, blessed, I can fight. Because if not, I would be getting my fucking ass whooped times fucking 10. Because in the projects especially, man, it was a new fucking task every single day with somebody new. Everybody wanted to fucking test you. Now, I'm sure for the first time, my stubbornness, I would fucking still try to fight every single day for the first couple of fucking months, right? I don't care if I get my ass beat how many times, I'm gonna keep stepping up. But I'm smart enough to know that after a couple months, if I couldn't fight, I'd be fucking hiding any which way I could. I'd be running as far as I could. But thankfully, I knew I could fight. So when people wanted to test, I'd rock a motherfucker. And rock another motherfucker. And another motherfucker. But some people can't fight. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're good at something or you're not. You're not going to see me retrieve a hockey stick and go play hockey because I can't even skate. I'm not going to jump in a pool and try to contend with Michael Phelps because I can barely swim. These are things I'm not going to do. You're not going to see me busting moves and stealing the dance floor. Just not going to happen. I'm fine with what I can't do. Now, I can try to get better at something, which is Punk. Hey, Punk wanted to try something new. Awesome. I give you my fucking best at that. That's awesome to say, hey, you know what? Even at my age, I'm going to try this. And he fell flat on his face in fight one, and it was pretty fucking evident that he can't fight. No reason to try this again. The experiment was a failure. He had months and months of all this training. And in the training alone, not just the people who know the fight game and watch it like myself, but the actual other fighters that watch his training and sparring came out and said, he just doesn't have it. You know the it factor that you have to have as a pro wrestler? Well, you have to have it's a different, but it is an it factor in fighting and in the fight game. In the UFC in particular, you have to have that it factor. You have to know 110% that you can go in that octagon and rock a motherfucker. Not just think it, know it, and do it. Punk can't fucking rock a motherfucker. It's evident in his training, and it was evident when he got in that octagon. And we can come up with a million excuses. It was his first fight, BC, and this and that, and he fucking, who the fuck, I don't even know what other excuses there is. There was his first fight, that would really be it, right? There's no other excuse. He was older when he started this. What would be the excuse? The guy's got fucking, he had the best coaches, he had the training, he knows what even if he lost, guys, even if he lost, we could sit back and say, hey, CM Punk gave it his all. Fight 2 might be different because this motherfucker's got it. But that's not what happened. Punk went in there and showed he can't fight. That's the problem. You can get all the training in the world you want. You might get better and better. That's great. You're still not going to go in there and defeat anybody. You're still not going to go in there and gain any fucking wins. That's like somebody who has 20 years of karate experience, but just can't fight. There's no killer instinct in them. There's no real fucking, that I'm going to fuck you up drive that you need to have in a fight. There's none of that, right? You just have this kind of meek individual that not only can't fight, doesn't want to fight, but he takes karate for self-defense, right? That's cool. I think that's awesome. But if that motherfucker who's meek and doesn't want to fight and can't fight, but he's got that 20 years of karate experience and he meets me in a dark alley and he wants to fight me all of a sudden, he's just having a really bad day, I'm going to break his fucking neck. 20 years of karate ain't gonna take the amplified man out if you just can't fight. Your little fucking kicks and chops and throat punches will not stop me. Because I'm gonna charge at you. I'm gonna fuck you up in ways you never even fucking knew possible. That karate can't possibly teach you. You have to be a fighter. You have to go in there and be able to rebound off of somebody else's cues. If you don't have that fighting drive, that killer aspect in you, you're gonna fall on your face. Punk proved that the first time. Now all of a sudden he's taking another main roster UFC spot on this card. Not even in the under prelims or the fight pass where he should be. He actually shouldn't even be on the UFC card. The fact that he's even on the card after that embarrassment in the first fight is mind-boggling. But then again, not mind-boggling because it's a business, right? You want that name up there. But then Punk says he doesn't care what people think about him. It's just his wife, his close friends and circle, and his coaches, and that's it. Who cares what anyone else thinks? But yet you're taking this you're creating all this buzz. You're going to your hometown, Chicago. You're creating the buzz. You're putting your name up there on the marquee. You're saying it's Dana White. Dana White came to me and said, I want you there. Punk, you could have easily said, I don't feel right doing that. I want to be down here or I'm not going to fight. I want to be in the fucking under prelims or the fight pass, man. On cable television. I don't want to be taking a main roster spot. You could have told Dana White it's this or nothing. Motherfucker, you knew you wanted to be up there. And yeah, you probably don't care if you win or lose. You're going to cash in on that huge fucking payday. You're going to go on your fucking Twitter. You're going to make fun of your own fans. or whatever the fuck you do. And you're going to fucking continue to be the little bitter fake that you are. But you can't fight. So you can call pro wrestling fake, but the real fucking thing to take away here is that the only real fake is you. And I hope really that you know that, even though you put on the facade, I hope when you look in the mirror, you know you're a fraud as a fighter. Because you are a fraud as a fighter. All of those fucking nicks and bumps and back issues you had were from pro wrestling. Those concussions, pro wrestling. Those injuries were all pro wrestling. Not so fake, right? All the fucking deaths in pro wrestling, the guys that have been paralyzed, the guys that can barely fucking walk. Choreographed, scripted, you could say all those fucking words, but you gotta go for phony and fake. Mind-boggling to me, but you don't really say that shit when you're fucking in it, right? Because you're too busy trying to fucking own the business and make everyone respect you. But then when it goes awry, it goes sour. Now that you're out of there, now that's the fake world, and I'm the big hotshot UFC fighter. You ain't no fighter. For 2 fucking years, you've had one fight, and you lasted barely 2 fucking minutes, and that's only because Mickey Gall lets you fucking live the extra fucking minute. And now here we find ourselves in fight number 2. Now, I swear to you, anyone watching here, and CM Punk especially, if you cannot beat Mike Jackson, then you better never, ever step back in any octagon ever again. I hope you don't even get into a street fight. Because you might not make it out. Mike Jackson is as fucking equal to CM Punk as can be. If Punk cannot beat Mike Jackson tonight, then not only is Punk a fake fighter, Punk should do anything and everything at all costs to avoid any type of fighting situation, any combat at all in the near future. Which leads me to my next point now, guys, and that is, this is CM Punk's career in a nutshell. Tonight means so much. If CM Punk loses this tonight, there is no way the Amplified Man is going to ever believe that he can beat anybody in the fake world, the phony world, ever again. Ever again. I'm not going to believe that Punk is going to go over to WWE and beat Brock. What happens if Vince wants CM Punk in a fucking storyline angle with Brock Lesnar? We cannot, as fans, believe that that's possible now. Because we just saw CM Punk get beat by Mickey Gall. And then what, tonight? Possibly get beat by Mike Jackson? What is a Mike Jackson? This guy's got the skill level of a Fruit Loop! Punk cannot. There is no way in the world CM Punk can lose tonight. There's not a way possible. He has to win this for his career. He can go around and say, I don't care what anyone thinks about me, just my family, my coaches, and my close friend. That's great. That's adorable. We all like to say that, right? I don't care what anyone thinks of me. It's the cool thing to say, right? I don't care what people think about me. Please, man, there are times and situations in life you better fucking care what people think about you. This is one of them. You took a spot from somebody on that upper main card of UFC for the second time now. You put your fucking name up on the marquee. You and Dana White put the name up on the marquee. You're collecting all this buzz. your hometown. You're making it all about you again, which is what CM Punk loves to do. CM Punk loves to do this shit. He claims it was Dana White that put his name up on the marquee. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to be on the Fight Pass on the under prelims. Yeah, bullshit. I don't want to steal the thunder from anybody else. I want them to have their time. I just want to have my fight and be done. Yeah, but I choose Chicago where I know I'm going to steal the thunder. You're a contradicting motherfucker and you know it, bro. You're the fake. You're faker than pro wrestling will ever fucking be. This is it for CM Punk. Because after fight one, we're like, okay, wow, you look like a clown. That was embarrassing. But we'll still take you back to pro wrestling, man. You can still salvage yourself. He loses to Mike Jackson. Who the fuck am I going to believe he's going to beat? Brock Lesnar, really? Braun Strowman? Because then you'd be really exposing the pro wrestling world. I lose to Mike Jackson, but I whooped Braun Strowman's ass. Brock Lesnar didn't stand a chance. Best in the world, my ass. And even at pro wrestling, I always said you were a sloppy motherfucker. You diehard CM Punk fans, you go back and watch his running bulldog. His fucking cringeworthy springboards. How about even more cringeworthy, his elbow from the top rope. Cool that you're paying homage to the Macho Man, but he'd be rolling over right now if he saw how ugly that son of a bitching elbow was. Fucking A. Take tips from Kairi Sane or somebody, man. Punk was ugly in that ring. Thank goodness he had a fucking mind to work the microphone. Because without that, Punk was a fucking bitch in that industry. Truth fucking hurts. And tonight, it might be Truth Jackson that's hurting CM Punk. These are just facts, guys. I'm dropping them left and right. So for CM Punk, you keep throwing jabs at pro wrestling. It's the phony world. It's the fake world. But you're a phony. You're a fake fighter. Prove me wrong, bro. Go out there and do what you should do tonight. Beat Mike Jackson. And in tomorrow's video, I'll come out and say, fucking A. I still, depending on how fucking you beat him, am probably going to tell you, call it quits, buddy. This fighting thing isn't working out for you. But if you go out there and you manhandle Mike Jackson, I'll change my tune tomorrow. But there's a reason that Rufus, your coaches, and everybody made sure that your sparring sessions and your training were a lot more low-key this time. Nobody could really view them. There's a reason you didn't really do the public workouts this week. Because you know there's still so many holes in your game. And you know there's holes in your game because it ain't because of your work ethic. You work your ass off. Your coaches are some of the best. It's because you're not a natural fighter. It's okay. Some people can fight, some cannot. Know your fucking role. You tried your experiment. You got to live your fucking dream and be in the UFC. You fell flat on your face, you embarrassed yourself, and you took spots from other fucking people. Now we're doing this whole thing again. The experiment continues. It's like Vince McMahon and Roman fucking Reigns. Vince won't get it through his head that this isn't working. After tonight, if you lose, you better get it through your head it ain't working. And unless you take care of Mike Jackson in very badass fashion, I'm probably still going to tell you, stop taking the spots from the other motherfuckers. If you're going to stick at UFC, stick to the Fight Pass and under prelims. Stick to where you should be. Work your way up. I understand it's a business. The CM Punk name can attract so much. But after a while, man, if your win would be against Mike Jackson. At this point, people are expecting more. What happens if you beat Mike Jackson? Do you fight another guy that's still just under your skill level or right at it? Or are you going to start trying to fight motherfuckers? Because if you do that, Mickey Gall showed you what the fuck is going to happen. So are we really going to watch the next 3 or 4 fucking fights of yours just be like run-of-the-mill, you know, just like little street fight type competition? And the sad part is, I don't even know if you can win those fights. We'll find out tonight, man. But you call pro wrestling an industry that I love fake and phony. That's cool, man. But I'm calling you a fake and a phony. Thank you for that, for letting me get that off my chest, guys. Because there is a big fight tonight for CM Punk. His career does define Or should I say, this fight defines his career going forward tonight. I promise you, it's that fucking massive, this fight. And I did have to comment on those remarks from CM Punk. The phony world, the fake world of pro wrestling. Yeah, because you're a hotshot UFC fighter with one fight under your belt, which was a devastatingly embarrassing loss. The fuck out of here. Now, as far as last night, guys, Chris Jericho became the new Intercontinental Champion. That's right, Jericho once again IC Champion. Now, of course, this was New Japan Pro Wrestling, not WWE. This was over at, Dominion. New Japan Pro Wrestling's big event, massive event. And Chris Jericho became the IC champion. Now, if you add that strap over to his WWE IC championships, that would be like 10, I believe. 10 times he's been IC champion. 9 times over in WW, 1 time over in New Ja. And so big time for Chris Jericho. Man, he is sending messages to Vince McMahon. And those messages are, motherfucker, I'm a star wherever the fuck I go. Also last night, Kenny Omega captured the heavyweight championship over there in New Japan Pro Wrestling from Okada, who's had that motherfucker for like 2 fucking years. One of the top superstars in all of professional wrestling, Okada. Omega dethroned him, took his throne, so overthroned Okada. Because for a while, Omega has been on his own throne. So Omega continues his streak of just becoming one of the best wrestlers around today. He truly is. But it leads me to say, and congratulations to Jericho for the IC strap pickup and Omega for the pickup of the heavyweight championship and the victory last night in what was about an hour fucking match that was really, really fucking good. Some people are calling it the match of the decade, the match of a lifetime, the greatest match they've ever seen. I am not saying that at all, guys. This is all shit I've seen before in New Japan Pro Wrestling, these type of maneuvers and all that shit. Some new innovative shit, but it was done in a way that I now expect in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know. It didn't... I can see if you don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling often how this would stick out even more, tenfold. But because I watch enough New Japan Pro Wrestling to kind of know what's coming now, so maybe I've kind of got desensitized from it all. But this was not a match of a decade for me. It was not a match of a lifetime for me. I would still pick Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25 over this match any day of the week, twice on Sunday. But that's just my opinion. Every wrestling fan's different. But definitely a great match. It was a fun match. It was emotional at the end there with the Young Bucks and Omega and everyone getting back together. And so, I mean, you had the good feel, good story. It was great, man. It really was. But now comes the comparisons. 2 different comparisons. Here comes the New Japan Pro Wrestling is better than WWE. Why can't WWE be more like New Japan Pro Wrestling? This is what wrestling really should be, is, whatever. It's in the eye of the beholder. However you feel is cool. But please do not compare the 2 guys. Just like I said in what was it, 2 days ago's video. Amplified Q&A. I was talking about NXT and how everybody says NXT is so great and this and that. Why can't WWE be half as good and this and that? You can't compare NXT to WWE's main roster, guys. NXT has so much more freedom. NXT tapes a bunch of shows under one fucking night, which is easier to do because you know what talent you're working with. You know what you have in store. You know what you have to use. You know your budgets. You know all that shit. Advertisers. WWE is working towards so many different more advertisers. The business tactics and aspects are so much more different than NXT. 5 hours of main television over that 1 hour of it. I mean, and it's live, and there's so much more, guys, that goes into it. You can't compare them. You can love NXT way more than the main roster shows. That's cool. But please don't compare them. It's 2 different entities, and it's not fair to either of them to compare them. You can like one more than the other. You cannot compare, and I see too many people trying to compare and saying, why doesn't WWE do X, Y, and Z like NXT? They can't. They're literally binded. I'm the first to admit WWE could and should be 100 times better than it is, and hopefully it will become. One day soon, hopefully. I'm the first to admit they're nowhere near where they should be. But you can't compare it to NXT, though. It's just 2 different entities. WWE has to be a better WWE, not anything like NXT. Because NXT only has to do 4 or 5 main storylines a week, if that. Usually it's 3 or 4. But I'll even give you 4 or 5 main storylines, is all NXT really works with. That's easy to book, easy to produce. Taped television, 4 to 5 episodes in one night they can pump out. For their whole month, they can film it in one. I mean, it's all different, guys. And again, the advertisers and the whole business model, everything's different. With New Japan Pro Wrestling, different in a lot of ways, but the same in the main way, which is you cannot compare the two. New Japan Pro Wrestling, a lot different than WWE in so many fucking aspects. New Japan Pro Wrestling, you're allowed to do anything. In your promos, you could say bitch, fucks, fucking shit, anything you want to say. You can dive into the crowd. You can literally put your opponent's head in a DDT or a fucking pile driver through a table in the crowd onto the concrete. Nobody bats a fucking eye. WWE with the advertisers and the business model and all that, you can't do that, man. And there's just so many other advertising / business models that New Japan Pro Wrestling can tap into that WWE can't necessarily, and vice versa. It's two different worlds. Again, just like NXT, you can love New Japan Pro Wrestling a million times better than WWE. That's fine. But whatever you do, please don't compare them. It's two different worlds. You know, certain things you can compare, but you can't fucking... It's just, yeah, man, it's such a slippery slope. And I think people kind of get misconstrued when they start doing that. New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's real pro wrestling, man. WWE can't even contend with that. Why can't WWE be half as good as that? And two different worlds, man. WWE is handcuffed a lot now, and WWE put themselves in that position. Once they went from a private company to publicly traded and started branching out into all these advertisers and started branching out at this FYC event for your consideration, because now WWE is trying to get an Emmy nomination. So now WWE is even trying to get more mainstream global initiative as far as people recognizing them as an actual entertainment entity, not pro wrestling by itself. Us fans, we're gonna lose out on that. There's no question about that, guys. So if you're gonna get really irritated, New Japan might be better for you, or maybe NXT, or maybe even fucking TNA Wrestling, who knows. But with WWE trying this initiative and trying to get more mainstream recognition to be an entertainment company and not just pro wrestling, you're gonna start to see fucking their hands being cuffed even more. Now, I'm not expecting the Attitude to ever come back, but I did want some edginess, and you still get to see that in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But it's not fair to compare the two now, because WWE went one way and New Japan Pro Wrestling is staying that way. For me, I'm still a WWE guy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I still love the entertainment to wrestling to... Just the way the segments flow, I'm still WWE. Just the way the characters come across. I wish they were larger than life like they used to be, and hopefully one day they will be. But the characters to me in WWE scream more of a star than New Japan Pro Wrestling. For me. Some people are different, you know what I mean? Over there, they treat Okada like a fucking rock star. Omega comes over to WWE, maybe he's the fucking rock star here. But that leads me into my second thing, and that is Omega, AJ Styles, here we go again. Because now after last night's performance by Omega, everyone's going to come out now and say Omega is the best wrestler in the world. That's cute and that's adorable, but again, he's doing this in New Japan Pro Wrestling. When AJ Styles was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, AJ Styles was the best wrestler in the fucking world, and you damn well know it. Styles took the fucking chance of a lifetime. He had the balls, because he could have fallen flat on his face. Vince McMahon could have said, I don't like this guy. Put him fucking in the first match, sometimes not even on pay-per-views. Never would he get a main event shot. Vince could have done that. He took a fucking chance, and AJ Styles has been taking that ball and running with it ever since. WWE's grueling schedule alone makes WWE a separate entity. That's why you kind of see WWE's main roster guys from NXT or other places kind of bring their style down a little bit, because these motherfuckers are fighting and wrestling 4 to 5 times a week. Now, your body's going to take a toll, man, so you can't do the same shit you used to do elsewhere. But AJ Styles is one of the rare motherfuckers that still does what he used to do, for the most part. When Vince and WWE give him the time of day to do that and the matches are long enough, AJ Styles still brings that to the table. Shit, with Brock fucking Lesnar, who's not known to be one of the best wrestlers in the world at all, Brock Lesnar. He's a power moves guy. I love Brock Lesnar, but he's nowhere near one of the best wrestlers in the world. But AJ Styles had a kick-ass match with Brock that people still talk about to this day. AJ Styles can bring the best out of anybody, and when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he was the best in the world. He went over to WWE, and I still consider him the best in the world. But because they're so much freer over there and they get to do all the fucking crazy circus shit, now Omega's getting all this fucking recognition. And people are giving him all these imaginary stars and saying he's having matches of a lifetime. Well, that's adorable and cute, but again, he's doing it elsewhere. I'm not saying you have to be in WWE to be the best, but I am saying this. AJ Styles has proved everywhere he went that he is the best. For us to sit here and say that Omega doesn't have to step foot in WWE to be the best, I'm going to call bullshit. Or at least I'm going to say, okay, you can say that, but there's one guy who did do it all, everywhere. And in WWE, the biggest wrestling company in the world, he is on top of that world as well. And that man is AJ Styles. So no matter what you believe, if you honestly think Omega doesn't have to step foot in WWE, he's the best, you at least will always have that one name over him, overshadowing him, because he did do that. He did conquer New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then he took his ball over to WWE, and he's running that motherfucker till this very day. So, there's no right or wrong. It's in the eye of the beholder. A lot of you guys might think Kenny Omega's the best wrestler today. And yes, he's never been in WWE, so we'll never know if he would succeed there, but I don't care. He's doing really good in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that's all that matters to me, BC. That's cool. That's your opinion. You run with it. All the best. The Amplified Man takes 2 steps back, not just one, and I see everything for what it is. Styles. Still to this day with WWE's grueling schedule the past several years, and he's still going out there and putting on insane matches. Again, when they give him the time of day to do such. He's got that strap firmly planted over his shoulder. And he's had that strap for a very long time now. How I can go ahead and say Omega is better than that. When I think back, when Styles was in New Japan, Styles was the man. Styles left New Japan Pro Wrestling on top. And when he did such, he went over to WWE and he took the top spot there. Now, Omega rose to the top over in New Japan. That's great. Until I personally see him come over to WWE and conquer that motherfucker. Can't do it, guys. To me, it's going to be Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. And Omega's right there. For me personally, I need to see Omega conquer the WWE in some way. I don't know if Vince would give him the full AJ Styles conquering treatment because AJ Styles is that fucking good. But if Omega does come with that velocity and all his skill sets ready to fucking tear the house down, maybe McMahon and Triple H are like, fuck, let's give this kid a ride. That's what AJ Styles did. Styles didn't rest on any fucking laurels or merits. He went and made his own merits. He made Vince McMahon take those 2 steps back and go, fuck, this motherfucker's the Shawn Michaels of this fucking era and beyond. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. We're going to hear a lot about this in the next couple weeks especially. Omega's the best wrestler in the world. Take it with a grain of salt, guys. Because don't forget, there's one name out there. Again, for me, there's 2. Daniel Bryan as well. But there's a guy by the name of AJ Styles. Don't forget about him. He was conquering New Japan too, don't forget. He only fucking stopped conquering New Japan because he left. And he went to the fucking biggest wrestling promotion in the world. And he's conquering that motherfucker. So you could say Omega's the best. I beg to differ, man. There's one guy above him. And I still think Omega has a lot more to prove to people like me before we say That's it. You're the fucking best in the world, man. Sorry, AJ Styles. Sorry, Daniel Bryan. Same with Okada, obviously. Okada's really fucking good too, man. Some in Japan actually think Okada's better than Omega. But I say the same for both, man. I just feel in my heart of hearts, man, AJ Styles is the fucking best. What about you guys, man? Do you think it's Omega? Okada? Daniel Bryan? AJ Styles? Who's the best wrestler right now in the world? Because you know damn well, for the next 2 weeks, this is gonna be a hot debate. Let me know. Drop it down below. This video went kind of long. I only wanted this to be about 20 minutes. I should have known that wasn't going to happen. Fuck you, CM Punk! No, I'm playing, man. In all honesty, I know I fucking ragged on CM Punk, but I wish him nothing but the best, guys. I want you to know that. There's no, like, animosity. I wish he wasn't so bitter. I wish he wouldn't trash the product that... It's not just for him. It's one thing for him to be bitter, but knowing that, like, his fan base is made up of pro wrestling fans, why do you gotta go around going, oh, the phony world, that fake world? It's almost like you're dissing your fans too, man. Okay, you're not in it anymore. You had a bad divorce with WWE. Stop with the fake shit and the phony shit. You're not a badass because you think you're a UFC fighter. Whether you win tonight, whether you win the next 4 fights you're in, relax, buddy. Don't be so bitter, all right? Just relax. Do your thing. Let's see if you're a real fighter or not. Prove me wrong. Start with tonight. Start with taking care of your business, Mike the Truth Jackson. Because if you don't, then I just told the truth. You ain't no fighter. I'm the Amplified Man, and I'll check you.